First item on the agenda is executive session. Can I have a motion
For collective bargaining.
for collective, to go into executive session for collective bargaining?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Roll call vote. Cliff?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Al?
Aye.
Karen? Aye. Chair votes aye. We'll be back at 7. And to call this meeting to order, first item on the agenda is public input. Is there anyone seeking input?
Well, I can either wait to that or the secondary school building committee, one or the other.
Are we
What do you
on?
want to do?
Look, Chuck, we know you're trying to get out of here for the Patriots game. Do you want to know now or do you want to wait till later? I mean,
Well,
I
I
think
was
it's an
going to
important
come
priority.
to both.
Come on up, Chuck. I'll let you go.
Can I go to secondary too?
Sure.
That way I can go home and you people can get rid of me?
Absolutely.
go home and read a good book.
I have a good book.
Go with you.
For the public input, I'll give you a little history of why I'm here. Last year when we were going to the Thanksgiving game, my son and myself, we were looking around and we noticed probably 20 or 30 people out running Thanksgiving morning. So this year, we're trying to put together a run for Thanksgiving morning. All right? So I think I need permission from the school committee and the superintendent to make this thing work. So that's,
Run away, Chuck, at the,
it'll be a 5-mile
oh,
run,
Finish at the track, finish on the new track.
yes.
my preference is to do 10 miles. If you
Oh,
want
you wanna do 10? That's all right.
to go,
But it's going to be set up as an easy 5-mile. You know, it's gonna be a fun run. To bring it in with the 50th anniversary.
I think that's a great idea, and then they have to finish at the track.
It's
That's-
better idea for 10K instead of a 5 mile, but.
Uh,
And what time, so what time would you plan?
Well,
on
we're
that?
probably looking about either 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
So we'd finish in plenty of time.
Oh,
for the
yeah,
game.
plenty. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to run
Some
by.
people might take longer, but
All right, but any money that's raised will go towards the sports program, all right?
Awesome.
So, I mean, we already have 2 main sponsors
Great.
without getting permission to do anything, but
so the approval you need is to basically.
Run it
finish
out of the
race,
school.
Run it
Yeah.
from the school and finish
at the
at
school.
the
I
track,
think
right?
Andover does this. Andover has a.
Well-
Easter
Andover runs,
5, I
I figured out at $20 a head at 8,000 people.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it for years.
They've been doing it for years.
Easter 5, I think it's called.
Great, well, when you get the details, just pass it through.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, I go through, the AD, you know, we talked to the AD. This has been going on since last year. Actually, the Athletic Hall of Fame will probably head it a little bit, all right? Only because we have the tax ID number and all that.
Okay.
All right? So all I need is permission from you. Then I guess I have to go to the selectmen and also to get permission to run on the road.
Probably, yeah, they'll have to get it from the police, right?
Well, I already have that,
Okay.
but I have to go to the selectmen, I guess.
Well-
Actually, we don't own the property anymore, so.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's right.
you own the driveway,
All
all
right, we're on the driveway, right.
right?
We still
You
own the driveway.
You
Hey,
could
don't-
ask lots of people.
Yeah.
Don't remind Rita of that, because we're still gonna keep that over her head. if
Right,
they-
we own the
But
driveway.
you own the driveway?
Right, yeah.
They won't be able to get in there,
Yeah.
so.
But
They might want to cut from your proceeds.
I have a lot of parents, I've already contacted a lot of parents that have children in the system who have run, you know, marathons, who want to get involved in operating this, you know, running it. Me, I'm just a bystander.
Do you know if any of the money would potentially go toward the fundraising for the lights at the field, or has that been discussed?
We haven't talked about it. We have a meeting the 23rd, and probably more will come out of it.
Okay.
But I'm more, from my side of it, I'm more interested in seeing the money come back to,
The kids.
yeah, the athletic part of it.
Sure.
I don't know.
Those use if he's down.
Well, yeah, anything,
Yeah.
you know, to help it. I don't know, maybe we can build an endowment fund out of it. I don't know,
That'd be great.
you know,
Love the idea.
who knows?
Great idea.
You know, there's a couple of scenarios involved.
Yeah.
Well, you got our blessing to go
Right.
ahead.
All right, that's all I wanted from you,
All right.
all right? Okay with the superintendent?
Once you get the details, just pass them through.
Yeah, well, that's what'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, once we get the details, how we're gonna set up the race.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea, you know, what the course should be, how it should be run.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm just coming here to get your blessing,
All right.
Thank
all
you.
right? And while I'm here,
Uh-huh.
Secondary School Building Committee. Superintendent, didn't hear anything more?
Nothing yet.
All right. I don't know
Yeah.
where we're at.
We were talking about this at our goal setting
Yeah.
session. We're really eager to, in the interim, waiting for the state to make up their mind, put together a list with the cost factors of, the capital needs in each building. Just to keep the town informed with what we're looking at, because the town capital plan is changing its definition a little bit, and energy efficient, projects
Going green.
are getting a nod.
Yeah.
So we would like to look at, we know we need a roof, but for energy efficiency, the windows would make that list. Our superintendent Billings around Wayne Hardacre has been participating on a town subcommittee, looking at projects and with an eye towards efficiency.
Yeah.
And he's noted to us that our roofs are in really bad shape.
I had heard that.
Yeah.
All right.
So we really need to put these kind of findings into some kind of a report that we know will show that if money is better spent with the new construction, but we do need to present that to the town.
So is anybody shaking the trees out there and the bushes to, talk to the state rep or the state senate?
Yeah, we've,
Huh?
Yes.
yeah. And David's been in regular contact with MSBA. One of the other things we talked about, Chuck, is once we hear, whatever we hear from the state, we at some point have to decide, how long is it gonna take us to get anything from the state? If it looks like it's gonna be a long time, as Mrs. Barker just said, we're gonna have to start looking at some of these other projects, like windows and septic
The
systems.
septic's not
and,
gonna last.
So,
So to the extent that the committee can take up that kind of work and look at, what you know about the buildings, which ones would fall under energy efficiency, which ones won't last another year or two, like the septic. And we did get the report on the roof at the high school and middle school. There is some interim repair jobs that can be done, but down the road, it would be a total replacement.
Okay. The other reason I wanted to come was also to send a message out to the parents that are out there that have children coming through the system. Not so much sophomores, juniors, and seniors, but more so for the people who have children in the kindergarten who are going to start up through the system. I mean, if they want an education, the school goes along with it. And I read in the paper how well the kids are doing, how many kids are going off to college, but if you had a building that was working with them, how much better everything would work for them. All right?
And there are some economies too, and it's not just about building repairs, it's about providing better educational space as well.
Right, and that's what it amounts to. I mean, I may be selfish because I have grandchildren coming through the system, but, it has to be done, it's gonna have to be done. And I just want people out there.
That's not being selfish.
Well, it is a little bit because I have an investment. But, people gotta realize that these buildings have just about had it.
Yes.
All right, they really have. I mean, if you go around and look at the other schools that have been done, we're probably gonna be the last school in this whole district area with an old building. All right? And at the price of private schools, I see you're going to have probably a lot more kids coming back to this system.
But we do need to really hammer the point home with Senator Tom and Representative Jones. These state funds are being spent on building projects, and they'll go to some other town, if not here. So we do need to make sure that they're really advocating.
Right. I just didn't want it to die. That was one of the reasons why I just
Oh,
Well,
wanted
we
to.
actually talked about it last
All
week.
right.
Jerry.
It was high on our agenda to figure out where we're going, because, in fact, we had a lengthy discussion about it. If we don't get something going, we are gonna have to spend a lot of money, as Maureen
You're gonna have to
already
spend a
said.
lot of money. You're gonna have to spend 100% of it rather than at
Right.
least a minimum of getting 50% of it back. People gotta realize
Well, some of
that.
the repairs might actually be eligible for reimbursement, I think.
Yeah, but
that
you'll
we're thinking
lose-
about doing. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, so people understand,
Yeah,
you,
100%.
if you apply for something, your chances of getting back on the list for something else
Right.
are nil.
And that's why we wanna get the committee active again and figure out what our plan is.
Right, okay. So that's why I came tonight, but I came basically for the road race, to get permission for that, so that everybody knows it's going to happen, and it'll be Thanksgiving morning.
great idea.
Great.
Right.
Super
And
well.
hopefully the field will be done, which
It will
I
be.
hear it will.
be.
I hear it will
It
be.
will be.
It will.
Yeah,
We
I think
weren't
they're-
working today.
Okay. Well, it's all right.
Pretty
Actually,
good.
Chuck, if we had to go put white lines down on what's there now, it'd be just as good as what we got.
Well,
We're ahead of the game.
Close to it, close to it. All right. Thank you for your
very
time.
much.
Thanks, Jack.
I'm going home.
Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, enjoy the game.
Next on the agenda is our student report. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just for a sec.
Sure.
Deanna Castro, 9 Bridal Way. First, I want to thank all of you for all your hard work this summer and doing everything you can to make the start of back to school this year as good as it can be. Both my kids are at the middle school this year, so I'm very excited about that. And I want to say that as a parent, I couldn't be more proud or more pleased with Mr. Fauché. He has been incredible. The communication is awesome. So, you know, kudos to him and to all of you for getting the right person in that seat. And we're looking forward to working with Mr. Daly as well. I'm here to pledge our continued support on behalf of North Reading United for Education and Stand for Children to continue our advocacy and our communication to keep, you know, parents and the community involved and engaged in the debates and the conversations about education funding. Jane Swart and I are going to continue our role in with the Massachusetts Leadership Network for Stand for Children, and we are, you know, getting our feet wet right now with getting more parents and support from, you know, all the different schools, because it does take an awful lot of people to do the work that we're going to need to continue to do because our work is not yet done. The one thing I wanted to ask your feedback on, whether you can give it to me tonight or, you know, in the coming days ahead, one of the priorities that STAND has always had is to look at innovation and efficiencies, whether it's for the, you know, the near or the long term. And because of a priority project that's coming up, just based on timing, STAND has made a commitment to spending an awful lot of time and energy on supporting legislatively, or at least advocating for the President Obama $4.3 billion Race to the Top funds. And while I'm challenged and conflicted with that because there's no immediate benefit to North Reading, I do have to sit in the seat of, you know, looking out for the best interests of education in general and all the kids in Massachusetts. So while I know there's going to be a long-term, perhaps, benefit if we find some innovations and efficiencies with this program, if it's successful in Massachusetts, and if we do get some of those funds, it's hard for me to want to dedicate that amount of time and energy and focus when it's going to be benefiting the top 10% of underperforming districts. So I'm trying to understand the whole picture, but I also wanted to ask if you have any opinions or feedback on that particular initiative.
I have no support for it,
Okay.
none.
I can send you some positions from MASC.
That's what I was hoping that you would do.
Yeah.
That would be great. I would
I-
appreciate that.
I cannot, I guess I don't understand why Stand for Children is going to spend a whole lot of resources on that program. If they haven't learned through this stimulus funding plan what a mistake it is to try to depend on federal money, I just, I don't know, it kind of surprises me, honestly.
Yeah, it's been hard for us as an organization. It was a very challenging meeting that we had about this. There's a lot of people that are conflicted by it, and I think what we at least allowed for, as far as a voting membership, was for them to have a seat at the table, to understand the dialogue, to see where it can benefit, you know, Massachusetts students, and to engage in the debate. That's as far as we've gotten, and so I'll keep you abreast on their initiatives, and if you could let me know your thoughts and feedback, because it's important to me to understand your position and to take that voice back to the policymakers
And
as
you
well.
should get educated on.
Absolutely, and we're going to try to educate the community as well.
I think I feel very much like Mel does on this.
And I
That-
expected that.
that-
I expected that. I mean, that was my first reaction as well, and I'm trying to not be so opinionated about it, but it's hard. It's hard.
We as a state already put a huge percentage of the state funding into those same kind of communities.
I
where
agree.
Government, right.
benefit.
I understand.
And to me, it looks an awful lot like a black hole.
And just to expound on that, today on the listserv, there was, I forget what district it was talking about they may not be able to offer free preschool anymore. And then all these other
Somerville.
districts, Somerville, and then all these other districts are chiming in about,